Welcome to Freethought Matters. I'm Laurie, Gaylor.
And I'm Dan Barker. We're executive directors of the Freedom from Religion Foundation.
Today, we're going to talk about atheism and humanism in Spain.
Our guest will be Manel Salido, the founder of the Humanists Association of Spain.
The Freedom from Religion Foundation, which produces Freethought Matters, is the nation's largest association of free thinkers. That's atheists, agnostics, and other non-believers. We invite you to join us in our vital work to keep our secular government free from religious influence. Become a member at FFRF.org or ask for a complimentary copy of our newspaper, Freethought Today. Freedom depends on freethinkers. Watch prior episodes of Freethought Matters on FFRF's YouTube channel.
I'm Laurie, Gaylor.
And I'm Dan Barker. When I think of Spain, I think of the Catholic missionaries who colonized the world. I think of the Inquisition, the Spanish Inquisition. More recently, dictator Franco's coziness with the Catholic Church. I think of it as a very religious country, but Spain is not like that anymore.
Our guest today is Manel Salido, the founder of the Humanist Association of Spain.
Manel is also the founder of an international Spanish-speaking atheist community called Razón o Fe, which means reason or faith, with a YouTube channel that has nearly 10,000 subscribers all over the world, and also appears on Twitter, Instagram, and especially on the Discord platform. So Manel, bienvenido a Freethought Matters.
Muchas gracias, amigo y amiga. ¿Cómo estáis?
We're very good. ¿Cómo estáis? You're saying it like you're from Spain. So tell us where you are in Spain.
I am in a town called Ontinyent in Valencia, in the east of Spain.
So, and I visited your home there a couple of years ago. It's about an hour west of...
an hour south from Valencia City.
Yeah, southwest of Valencia. Beautiful country out there. And we met with some of the humanists in your organization. We at Juanjo's house. I remember him and his wife. And that beautiful science artwork that he had all around the fountain. So tell us about the group. How did it start? You started it, and what was the need for humanism in Spain?
Well, the need was to find a way to put our beliefs in a positive way, not saying that we are just atheists, but what we have to offer. So we heard about humanism about 5 years ago, and I was delighted with the philosophy of humanism. So we started an association, and we have done lots of activities. We call some philosophers, scientists to come to our town and have speeches, and then have talks and parties, of course. And it's very nice for us to express our beliefs in that way.
So I have a question, Manel. In the United States, about a quarter of our population doesn't have a religion, identifies as non-religious or unaffiliated. How does that compare to Spain today?
Well, in Spain, we are very lucky now because a year and a half ago, just before the pandemics, we had 29% of atheists and non-believers.
Wow.
And now we have 39% in just a year and a half. I guess that the pandemics have had something to do with that.
Wow.
I don't think it's a coincidence. But anyway, so we are running ahead of you. You must shape up.
So
yes,
maybe
we must shape up. I agree.
Maybe all the priests died from COVID or something. So speaking of COVID, how is Spain handling it? Do you have any problem with like religious exemptions to the vaccine, or how is Spain doing with the COVID pandemic?
Well, we are one of the countries that has had more vaccination at the moment. And so we are in a very low danger, so we've done really great. And about religion's interferences with all the COVID matters, there has not been anything. I mean, of course, the church has had its little privileges when nobody could meet. There was, but if you want to go to church, you can go there and things like that, but not really very much.
I want to ask, is there still, or was there a lot of opposition also to the masking, or did you manage to avoid all of that?
No, in fact, in Spain, there has been very little opposition to the mask and very little opposition to vaccines. I am astonished when I hear about Austria and Germany and some other countries, which you could think that are more advanced, having big percentages of population against vaccines, but not here. So we're very lucky.
Yeah, so do you know about what the vaccination rate is in Spain now, the fully vaccinated rate?
It's about something like 80%, nearly 80% fully vaccinated,
Wow.
70% or 90% with one dose at least, and something like 70 a lot percent.
Wow.
With.
Well, congratulations. As this is as being videotaped, we're more like 56% in the United States. We're really painfully behind. So I wanted to ask you, Manel, what is your religious or non-religious background? How did you come to be so involved in humanism?
Well, I was Catholic until 14 years old. Then I started, I knew that that wasn't right. So I was looking for other things. So I found things like Buddhism, karma, energies, meditation, and all those things. And I stayed there for until 20, more or less. And then I understood that there is no God, no supernatural reality and all that. But I always wanted to share the fascination for life. Say, wow, this is really wonderful. And really, until I found humanism, I had no way to promote all that way of thinking in an effective way. So when I found humanism, it was like, wow, this is what I was expecting.
But as somebody who was raised Catholic, what spurred you on to reject religion?
Well, first, when I was a child, the fact that there are many religions, so I said, wow, how can I know what is true and what is not? So I rejected. And then it was a gradual process of starting believing in other things, like saying, oh, no, but we are all energy, things like that. And eventually, I thought I would get some confirmation by meditating or practicing all those things. And then a few years passed by, and I had also no confirmation. Then I slowly abandoned those beliefs.
So for our viewers, two questions. What is humanism? And if you don't have a God or religion, how can you be a good person?
Well, humanism, to say it in a short way, I would say that it's a rational, critical, philosophical, and ethical worldview. So, and about how can you be good without a God? I think that we have evolved with some capacities to think, to feel, to have empathy, and that is built in our nature now. I mean, you don't want to kill someone because you hate seeing people suffering, and I think it's something that has naturally come to be part of us.
Yeah.
So what is Dan started off the program with some of the maybe darker religious moments in Spain. What is the history of humanism in Spain?
Well, I am afraid that humanism is not even a thing in Spain. I mean, hardly, very, very few people know what humanism is. There are no humanist associations. And
Except
also,
yours.
Yes, sure,
Oh,
of
okay.
course. And also atheist associations are very, 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 very little. It's very interesting to see how Spain has become less and less religious with no associations, with no movement really for humanism or atheism.
That is fascinating, and we have to work really hard in this country.
Yes.
So it's like bottom up, right? Instead of top down, like
Yes.
a bunch of atheists and humanists are telling people, it's just the people themselves getting tired of religion,
Yes.
maybe?
I think that when when Franco died in 1975, like people were really a little bit fed up with religion and with all the repression and all that. So people started being more and more free. And then we had, for example, abortion laws in 1985. It was decriminalized. And then you could not, you could divorce. I mean, when I was a child, you could not have a divorce in Spain. I mean, it was really another world. It's fantastic how in 40 years, the evolution has been really dramatic in lots of senses, in a very good way.
It reminds me a little bit of Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, which was so entrenched with Catholicism, just drowning in Catholicism, and now the people have become so much more liberal than their religion. You know, they've had referenda. What is the situation with marriage equality and gay rights in Spain?
Well, I would say it's like, it looks like I am trying to selling you Spain. Come to Spain. It's a wonderful country, but really, for these things that you are asking, it's a very nice country. I mean, we were one of the first countries who legalized gay marriage. And I think nowadays it's like completely normal to have to assist to a gay wedding, and you can adopt children. You have all the same rights. I mean, of course, there's still some discrimination. I'm not saying that this is a paradise, but it's much better than in other countries.
I think I read that Spain was the third country in the world to do that.
Yeah, that's surprising. What about the actual setup of the government? Is there a separation of the Catholic Church or religion and the state?
No, here is where the good news ends. No, there is not. I mean, on the paper, yes. I mean, the Constitution says that it's a non-confessional state. That's the actual word. But of course, there are disagreements with the Vatican, and there is this lots of privileges for the Catholic Church. But there is one very nice thing. Well, there are two very nice things. One, we have just passed a law for assisted dying, which is also a very, very nice thing. And we have at schools, you can, until last year, you could study the religion subject or another subject that you had to choose. But from this year, you can study religion or not study religion. No need for a substitute. And that's a very, very nice move from the government.
So it's optional.
Because, yeah, and you say, okay, everybody's happy. You have religion at schools as you wanted. And if somebody doesn't want, okay, he or she can just not do it. And that's great.
So we're going to take a break.
I just had one other question, though. Do students have to go to classes where there's crucifixes or religious symbols, or is that not part of the school?
No. There are no religious symbols in public places at all.
Great. Wonderful.
So after the break, now I want to talk about the schools and students and about an essay contest that your organization organized for students. We'll be back to talk more with Manel Salido of the Humanists Association of Spain in just a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Ron Reagan, an unabashed atheist.
When I first recorded that commercial back in 2014, being openly atheist in America was still fairly uncommon. Today, the fastest growing religious group in the country is the non-religious, especially among the young. That progress is heartening, but the religious pushback is fierce and the forces of Christian nationalism are well organized. Our progress won't continue unless we work together so that reason and our secular constitution will prevail. That's why I'm asking you to join the Freedom from Religion Foundation, the nation's largest and most effective association of atheists and agnostics working to keep state and church separate, just like our founders intended. Please join the Freedom from Religion Foundation today. Ron Reagan, lifelong atheist, not afraid of burning in hell.
My name's Katie, and I'm an out-of-the-closet freethinker. I decided to shed religion because of its self-destructive tendencies. I witnessed firsthand the toll religion can take on your psyche as a Christian woman. I grew up judging people, proselytizing, and ridiculing them because their beliefs didn't coincide with mine. And let me tell you, if someone were to question my faith, I would not have any of it. It wasn't until I was working at a Christian camp that I met an atheist, and he taught me to think critically and view the world through a different lens. It was at this moment that I decided that I may never have been a believer. A sense of fear and community were really the only things holding me to my faith. As a proud woman and humanitarian, I would like to be the best version of myself, not the worst.
I believe in an America where the separation of church and state is absolute, where no religious body seeks to impose its will, directly or indirectly, upon the general populace.
Let's restore respect for America's secular roots. Help the Freedom from Religion Foundation defend the wall of separation between state and church. Join us at FFRF.org. Freedom depends on freethinkers.
And we're back with Freethought Matters, continuing our conversation with Manel Salido. He's the host of the popular show Razón o Fe, which means reason or faith, also the founder of the Humanists Association of Spain. So, Manel, you were talking about students in schools. Is it true that you organize an essay contest for humanist students?
It was an idea that I got from one of your activities that you told me. And it was really nice because there were like 20-something young people who presented their works. And it was very nice to see them, how they try to express their thoughts. Of very young people, it was very, very interesting. We will sure repeat it very soon.
It's one of our favorite things, because we now have 5 essay competitions at different grade levels, high school through college and grad. And we are so inspired and heartened by the views of young free thinkers in the United States. So I'm sure it's the same in Spain.
So your show, Razón o Fe, is becoming really popular on many different platforms. Tell us why you started it and who's involved. I remember I was a guest on it once, and there were people from Chile and people from Spain and from all over the world. Tell us about Razón o Fe.
Well, yes, one of my main concerns was that in Spain, nearly nobody talks about religion, beliefs, or whatever. I mean, you can be working with somebody for 20 years and you don't even know if they are religious or not. So it's like, I say, why don't we talk about these things? So I started just, at first I had the idea of just having a YouTube channel where I spoke, but I thought immediately that was not very interesting. So I invited people. I invited scientists and people who are well known in Spain, who are atheists and also humanists, but they don't talk about it because you don't have in Spain like TV debates, atheists and religious people or things like that. So I started doing that. And the name of the channel was because I was thinking about reason or faith. And I made a search, and you can find lots of things in Spanish by reason and faith. But you find nothing with reason or faith. And I think that's the question, reason or faith. So I was alone doing that until 4 or 5 months ago. Then somebody told me, hey, I would like to cooperate with you. And now we are 12 people in the team, and we are growing a community. We want to be a humanist and atheist Spanish-speaking community. We are meeting at Discord. We have conversations that we broadcast on our YouTube channel. We have all media. And I think it's great that people talk. And I am amazed to discover how religion is influencing the life of almost all countries in Latin America. It's really great that we can speak about it, and people can find a place. When people find this community, say, wow, I am an atheist, but most atheists in Latin America don't know any other atheist person because they are all in the closet.
Well, Dan, you've spoken in Guatemala.
So there is a growing free thought, libre pensadores in Latin America, especially in the American side. And I know that in Colombia and in Peru and in different countries now there's some associations starting up. And I noticed that many of the people who view your show or participate on your show are also in South America, in Mexico and Central America and that as well. Because there's not that much available in Spanish, is there, about this?
No, not much, really. Now there are quite a lot of YouTube channels, TikTok accounts, and Instagram accounts that are starting to talk about atheism and humanism. More atheism, because in Latin America, people are so influenced by religion that they are so shocked to hear that you can speak freely about atheism in our talks. There's a Spanish word, tertulia, which means an informal talk among friends, and that's what we do sometimes. Then we have also an Ask an Atheist program. Does it sound familiar to you?
Where'd you get that idea?
I don't know. I didn't know, my subconscious.
Because we have a show called Ask an Atheist.
Well, and
too,
then
so.
there are other Ask an Atheist
Other
shows. There's an
groups, too.
Ask an Atheist Day, so it's great to have this be international.
Yeah. And so I think it's a very, very nice thing what we are doing, because we are a growing community. And I would recommend especially to anybody who speaks Spanish and is watching us to join our Discord server. Discord is not very, very well known, but it's a wonderful tool for sharing, for communities. And we have a very special member. I will say only that in that community.
A very special member. So
Yeah.
somebody famous.
Yes, Dan Barker. Great, Dan Barker.
It is a nice platform for people to get together. So Manel, my impression of Spain is totally changed now, because in the United States we think about Spain historically, and it's good for you that you are helping to change the image from this oppressive religious country to a more open, egalitarian, more free-thinking country. What are some of your hopes for the country of Spain?
Well, I would hope that everything goes in the same direction, because there are lots of changes happening. For example, we have an openly atheist prime minister.
Ah.
Really?
And he said that he was an atheist on a high audience TV show before he was elected prime minister. So it's wonderful. It was the first time that in the ceremony where the prime minister swears his duties and all that, there were no crosses and no Bibles. Well, the first time ever in Spain. People were like, wow, this is a scandal. But things like that are happening. Still, the church has a lot of power. But like you said, from bottom up, people are abandoning religion. But for example, in 2019, 80% of the weddings were non-religious.
18%?
80. 80%. So it's fantastic. I mean,
wow. Well,
yes.
We have to envy you the fact that the Prime Minister is not religious and that there was not a Bible invoked when he was taking his oath of office. We always write the president-elect every 4 years. Please don't put your hand on a Bible. It's not in our secular constitution, but so far we have not persuaded any of them to honor that constitution. So hopefully our next president will learn a lesson from the Spanish prime minister.
You probably think our country is backwards.
Well, we see United States as a very, very special country because you have lots of contrasts. For example, your presidents always say, God bless you. That no president would say that in Spain. Or we know that religion is a very, very important thing in society in the United States. So it's like you have lots of freedom, but you have also this pressure from religion, and we see you like very weird country.
Well, we're going to copy you someday. Our dream is to become more like Spain someday. So
Great.
So you told me that the Humanist Association has had to take a break because of COVID. You haven't done very much, but do you have some plans to gear back up again? And do you have other goals or activities coming?
Yes, sure. We just have to meet up again and to start saying, okay, after this stop, let's reconsider all our activities. But yes, sure, we will go on and try to make it try to make humanism more known in Spain, because we're just a local association in our town. But I think maybe in this pandemic time, we have learned how to use Discord, how to broadcast live from people from other countries. So I think that we are going to use all that knowledge to spread humanism in Spain.
Wow.
Well, and spreading humanism in Latin and South America is so important, where there's really, for the most part, so little separation between religion and government, which is really the big threat, I think, worldwide, and the big threat to conquering COVID, too, to have reason prevail. So it's a good job you're doing.
Felicitaciones por todas sus buenas obras. Hermanos sin Cristo.
Muchas gracias, hermanos sin Cristo.
Brother, not brother in Christ, but brother without Christ is the joke. So, well, thank you so much, Manel, for being with us today. It's been a real pleasure to learn more about your country and your views and the optimism you have for the future in Spain.
Thank you very much. My pleasure and my honor to be here with you. Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching Freethought Matters.
Because free thought matters.
Hi, I'm Steve Pinker. In my book, Enlightenment Now, I show that the world has become a better place as reason has been overcoming superstition and tribalism. But the values of the Enlightenment are under attack. That's why I'm a proud member of the Freedom from Religion Foundation, the nation's largest association of free thinkers working to keep state and church separate. Please join me in supporting the Freedom from Religion Foundation to ensure that our government is driven not by religion, but by reason.